I request Mr. Ramesh Agarwal to honor Mr. Dinesh Kundu Raoji, Honorable Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Government of Karnataka. We are very honored to have you here with us, sir. Please welcome to the stage. I'd like to could you please share a few words to the audience?
Thank you for inviting me for this very important program, Connecting India for Safer Food. All the dignitaries on the dais and all the people who have come to take part in this conclave to discuss various aspects of food safety and why food safety is very important today. As you very well know, food is a major component of anybody's good health and well-being. And the kind of food we eat and the type of food we eat becomes very important, and it's playing a very big role in a person's issues concerning their health. And for us looking after the health ministry in Karnataka, and the health of the people, public health is a very important aspect of our department. And how our main focus is also not only in just curing people who get ill, but also how we can prevent people from getting ill or becoming unhealthy. So when it comes to that, I think one of the biggest players in that aspect is food. There are food waterborne diseases, there are environmental issues that affect a person's life, there are issues of their lifestyle in terms of exercise and how they lead their daily living. So all these has an impact on a person's health. So along with that, food is very much connected to health, and like what we just saw briefly, the lady speaking about being able to handle food in a hygienic way. I think how we can help food maintain good hygiene and good standards. So what we are seeing today is there's a huge, of course India's population is huge, and today people are working more and more. Both the man and the woman of the house is working. So they go out in the morning, come back in the evening. And earlier we used to see that a lot of preparation used to take place in the house. Cooking used to take place in the house. But the culture of the way we consume food is changing. And more dependence on packaged foods, processed foods, and outside food. So this is, the dependence on this is becoming more and more. Earlier, if you would buy vegetables from the market or buy meats from the local butcher shop, bring it home, clean it, prepare it, you had more control over the food that you were eating, and the hygiene was directly connected to you. Apart from the quality of the food itself, apart from the quality of the vegetable itself, and whether that vegetable or whether that particular grains are prepared with least amount of pesticides or whatever. Apart from that, the rest of the control was with you. But when it comes to food that is packaged and processed and prepared outside, then the question of good standards become more and more important. And how do we maintain those standards? How do we ensure that wrong kinds of chemicals or wrong kinds of coloring agents are not being used? How do we ensure those basic standards are maintained, especially in a country like India, where it's very difficult to, the biggest problem that we face is the regulatory mechanism, and how we can ensure that all standards are being maintained, right from the starting of preparation to the processing to storage and then finally the distribution. So all these different components with not very effective maintenance of standards, it's left, sometimes the consumer will not know, even though the food may be looking good, packed good, but whether it has been maintained to the absolute high standards that it proclaims. So these are the things that as a government, the regulatory mechanism, we have to make it more effective. And that is something that we are also working on. Our food safety FSSAI, it's a national act, and every state also has got its units in departments are there. And we are now trying to see how we can make this more effective. How we can go around and checking at various levels, at various stages, and ensure that those standards are being maintained and no hazardous or contaminated or badly prepared food is being supplied. So I think that it becomes a very important aspect for us, and this food safety is now becoming more and more and more important, and the government's role also is becoming more important, and industries also, how do they maintain standards, how they maintain the quality, all that is also becoming more important. So definitely I think a conclave like this, where you bring in a lot of different companies and experts to discuss and see that how we can propagate best practices, how we can ensure that people are aware that these are the kind of technologies that are available, and technologies that can be scaled to a level where it becomes affordable, and so that even small industries, small companies can use good high-end technologies so that it also works out at the economics of it. So all these things are I think very important, and also the starting point, of course, is from the agricultural sector, from the farm where it is grown, where it is produced, whether it is agriculture or dairy or meat, animal husbandry, whatever, all those things. So it is from the farm to the table. So the whole process needs attention, needs focus, and bring awareness amongst the consumers also, that what you should look out for, what you need to look out for when you're buying the food, and what are the good things and bad things. So these are subjects that are being discussed at the level of WHO and all governments of the kinds of food that are being packaged. How do we warn, like when you buy a packet of cigarettes, you are warned that this cigarette is going to be injurious to health, right? People will still buy, but at least we are able to communicate to them that this food is going to cause damage to health. Like that, there are so many foods today which will cause damage to health. When it's all these high salt intake foods, high sugars, and ultra processed foods where a lot of chemicals are used to keep the food, to make the food last long and to be able to survive that period. So these are all injurious to health. So we need to be able to communicate to the consumer that this food is, I would say, either we can have a color coded system. This is a red one. This is a dangerous one. This is not good for health. There are some certain things which are in the medium range. This communication has to happen because the evidence is there, the proof is there that these foods cause major damages to our health if consumed regularly in a long-term basis. So, but problem for us is also the food processing and the food industry is a very powerful lobby, and the lobby works in various ways of controlling the regulatory laws. And I've been also trying to look at this act, and unfortunately it is also a Government of India Act. I cannot directly make any rule here unless the government of India decides it. And we will be pushing them, saying that let us, be able to, ultimately it is the question of the health of our people. And for India, our biggest resources is not our mines, not our minerals, not our ores, not our forests. I think the biggest resource that we have is our humans. So if these people are not healthy, if you don't take care of their health, they become less productive and they become less efficient. And that is the the ultimate. If India has to become a superpower or a world beating nation, then good education, good health is most important. If you don't have that, then everything gets affected. The lifespan gets affected, the productivity gets affected, the mental brain power gets affected, and everything gets affected. So we've been trying to push, but still I don't think we've reached that level of being able to get all the laws that we need, and hopefully in the days to come there'll be better pressure groups that will build and ensure that more effective laws will come. But along with it's not just effective laws, it's also the effective implementation of those laws. We can have great acts and laws made, but how do we get that? How do we see that is implemented properly and effectively, and it's followed to its letter and spirit? So these are the challenges that we are facing. Definitely, as a health minister, our department is trying to ensure better surveillance, better inspections, find out where things are going wrong. And recently also we did a few surveys where we found out that things that were being used in cotton candy, things that were being used in food products like gobi Manchurian and kebabs and all those food items, using a lot of coloring agents which they are not supposed to use. Carcinogenic agents were being used, and ultimately we banned them also. But even despite bans, usage does take place. But at least we made people aware of it. So now if you see, I don't see, if you go around, this pink candy you will not see anymore. Because they stopped adding that pink was actually the problem. Because that coloring agent in the candy which was pink was the carcinogenic item that they were using. So like that, we are also trying to become better at regulation and better at finding out how things are being made and being produced, and also to see that how we can improve our laws and how we can educate our people. And that is most important thing. Educate our people of the value of good quality food and the value of paying attention to nutrition. So these are the things that we are working on. So I'm sure this India Food Safety Conclave that is taking place here with many partners who have come over here. I just saw some of the stalls, and many of them it was very interesting to listen to them, and I think you've got a lot of experts over here. I'm sure that this will help in propagating and also ensuring proper implementation of good safety standards in the country and in our state. And for that, whatever support and help and anything that you require from the Government of India, Government of Karnataka, I am there with you.
Yes.
And I'm in the t-shirt today, and you may be wondering why I've come so casually like this. Today was a yoga day, International Yoga Day, so we had a yoga program and all that. So I was wearing a yoga t-shirt, and that's why I've come straight. I finished that and then had a small meeting and I've come straight here. But I think yoga, food, health, fitness, all comes into one full overall ambit of good health for the nation. All these things are contributing factors to the good health of the people. And so I'm sure that this conclave will add to that, and any support from us, definitely we are there with you. And after this conclave is over, whatever suggestions you have or whatever inputs you have for us, definitely you can come and meet me separately, and we can discuss those things and see how we can do things which are good for the industry and for the people. Thank you very much.